In today's video, Dog Squad, we will be ranking every single starting quarterback going into this 2024 NFL season. All 32 quarterbacks will be ranked today, and one of those tier-making videos. But as we kick off today's episode, thank you so much for the support on every single video on TreyDog 60. We're so close to 1K, so let's try to make that happen by the end of the summer, going into the school year, which is around mid-August. I'll let you know. So make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so much more videos, like this video, and share this so other people can be part of the Dog Squad. You're also part of the Golden Dog Squad by subscribing to TreyDog 60 and TreyDog Gaming. Link is in the description and bio. Now, without further ado, let's get right in this video. Alright, here we go. Let me fix this thing a little bit. So, here we go. I got the list already figured out. First, we're going to start off with Sam Darnold. Look, he's been in the league for so long. Hasn't done a thing. I don't think he's even made the playoffs. He's a starting QB. McCarthy, I could probably the same way. J.J. McCarthy of the Vikings. I don't really see him doing anything. He's just not good. He's just probably one of the worst QBs, and I'm going to have to say he is, in the NFL. Sorry to say that because he was good in college at USC, but he just isn't good anymore. So, he is number 32. Number 31, we've got, where is he? Bo Nix. Okay, so I don't think he's going to be potentially the guy who probably leads the Broncos to the playoffs. It may take him a couple years. I don't see really much potential in him right now, but he was good at Oregon, but he probably wasn't as good at Auburn. So, therefore, I don't know what's going to really happen with him going into the NFL, playing for the Broncos, who actually haven't had the team to go far in the playoffs, go to the playoffs at all since 2015. So, I don't think it's really going to be him. He's probably one of the worst rookies in QBs in the starting. Zach Wilson, I think he has a better job over Zach Wilson, so we'll say here. Also, glad we're making computers videos now. If you didn't check my gaming video earlier, I'm so glad I got the new mic right here. Hopefully I sound better. Now, number 30, we do have, now I know this is Drake May, but he is not starting, and I think they thought he was starting. I'm trying to find Drake May. Where is Drake May? Where's that college shirt, dude? Where is he? Where is he? Oh, there he is. Okay. No, that's Richardson. We'll talk to him later. Okay, so Jacoby Brissett. Not Drake May, Jacoby Brissett. He's been in the league. He's been to a playoff game, you know. He's okay. He's really not that. He's not okay. He's probably worse than that. He's not a really good quarterback, as you would see. He's not the type of guy to be starting. He's a good backup. He's been a backup for years. He belongs in the bottom of the league. He's not that good of a quarterback, so I don't see any talent, as much talent for a starting QB as he shows, and I don't think the Patriots may be on the right track. Maybe they can get some few wins. He's not the guy to do anything, though. All right, so number 29, I had number 29 at Aiden O'Connell. Where's Aiden O'Connell? Okay, so he's coming off a year as a rookie, and then he came off a backup. He didn't play bad for a rookie, but he probably could have done better. He's not really, I don't think he should be starting. He's not the best quarterback. He didn't really use his weapons as he should have. Honestly, he's not the quarterback I think he should be. Yeah, he's definitely should be lower, you know, than he probably, some people have been saying. I think he's 29, you know, also based off the other players I'm about to put down, but he's just not really the guy that uses the talent like he should have. You know, he had all that talent, and he really didn't play well with it. I mean, he put up good numbers, but it just wasn't really him. He's the guy maybe to get put in. I don't think he should be starting, though. All right, number 28, though, I believe I do have Bryce Young, and I do have Bryce Young here. He's got more weapons. I think he's got a little more outcast now. I think he's got a little bit more of some help now. He's got a better head coach now. He's going to be better. I think he's going to be fine. I don't know how he's going to look. I'm going to mark him still at 28. He's still young, so I don't really see much in him, but he's going to be better. but I'm going to still put him at 28. 25 to 28, maybe 24, 28 may seem what he is, maybe 29. I think he's not the best quarterback, not really that good right now, but he's young, so it's kind of hard to prove. So now number 27 for the good Lord Daniel Jones. I'm only putting him 27 because of that one good year. I mean, he also gets injured, but he is not a good quarterback. No, he's not. I'm not just saying out of hate. He's not a good quarterback at all. He makes bad decisions. He's not a great mobility guy. I mean, he had a fantastic season making that good year a couple years ago, going in the divisional round, having a good playoff game against Minnesota. But really, besides then, he hasn't done anything. He just doesn't play well in games, and even he can't. And he gets blown out by good teams and has to struggle against bad teams. And yeah, I mean, he doesn't really do well at all. He's just flat out not a good QB, but he's better than Bryce because we've seen more potential out of Daniel Jones than Bryce. But I think he'll pass him in the next several years, especially if Daniel Jones is going to probably get replaced. He's just not a good QB. End of story. He doesn't make the plays that need to be made. He can't make plays at all sometimes. So therefore, not good. I mean, I'm not explaining well. He's just not good. That's all I can say. But number 26, my phone keeps going off. Number 26 is Derek Carr. He's not that good either as he used to be. I mean, he used to probably be a top 10 QB, but now just sitting there trying to be a QB still. Not a good QB. Not really. I mean, he's had one playoff appearance at all. He was good a few years ago. He was good when he was young. Good on Oakland, or Las Vegas, same thing, actually, because he was on both teams. He's just not good anymore. I mean, New Orleans, he probably could have more talent. He's just not. He's kind of like Jones, but a little bit better. He makes some bad throws a lot, and he makes some good time plays, but he's just getting older, and he seems to never can find his way to the playoffs. I know. You got to play as a team if you want to make the playoffs. You got to play a team if you want to win a Super Bowl. But it doesn't help. Never. I mean, he has some good games, but he's not a top starter. He's just a bottom starter, and that's it. I'm going by what he's done. Not saying it's his fault for not making the playoffs. The Saints overall are just not a good team. So, that's it. I mean, they just aren't, but not like he really helps. And you don't see him making those plays like the top tier QBs do, and play like them as well. So I'm going to mark him at 26. 25, I'm going to mark Will Levis for the Tennessee Titans. He actually could be the next franchise QB for the Tennessee Titans. Scratch Ryan Tannehill. Obviously he's done. Will Levis is playing. I could definitely see him leading his team eventually to the postseason, maybe winning a playoff game, maybe this year too. Probably not this year, but I could definitely see it next year. He's got potential. He's young. Not that good of a QB right now, but he can definitely get better. Caleb Williams for the for the Chicago Bears has definitely a chance at Offensive Rookie of the Year, but I don't know. He's bad discipline. He's stubborn. But he makes good plays. But will he be able to handle the pro? I mean, I don't know. That's why I'm putting him at 24. He's a rookie. You can't make them high, so he sits where he sits. That's all I'm going to say. But I do think who's going to be better than him is Jaden Daniels for the Washington Commanders, because he's got about everything. He's got an arm. He got legs. He reminds me of Lamar Jackson, but I think he'll probably throw better. We'll just see with the rookie. I think he's going to make a better play. You got Washington Commanders, too. You got a good head coach, Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn's been in those big moments before. Dan Quinn knows how to run a team. Dan Quinn, I mean, you've seen, he does. He knows how to run a defense. Didn't help us in the postseason last year for Dallas, but he can definitely help Williams, especially probably to run a team as well, to handle this quarterback, and especially with the talent Jaden Daniels has. I think he could definitely do well. I think he could definitely be better than Williams this year. Anthony Richardson got hurt last year. Got hurt last year, and the Indianapolis Colts was playing really well. Played well his first game against the Jags, or at least that's what I saw. I don't really remember his full stats, but I know he had some pretty good games to start off the season with. I know he has potential going into the year. That's why he's probably above some of these quarterbacks that have played for a while, or above these quarterbacks that are new, or maybe the same age as him, or at least same year as him. He's definitely a team maybe that can sneak in the playoffs for the Colts. If he's big, he's got an arm. I mean, he can make some clutch plays. I could see Anthony Richardson keeping the Colts alive for playoffs, and I still think he has a lot of respect. Deshaun Watson, look, he's getting old. I mean, he's gotten in trouble. He's gotten hurt. But it seems like when he comes out to play, he seems to want to play. I'll give him that. He seems like he wants to play. He's like I mean, the orange is... I didn't explain my colors. As you can see, this is like not really good to a terrible. This is below average to a... this is a mid to a... Okay, that's above average. Yeah, I'd say. This is a... he's pretty good to a great, elite, awesome, green is. So he's probably like... maybe. Good. Not really that good. But definitely, when he wants to show up, he can. I can't really go by the amount of times he's played. So, 21 is kind of where he stands. Played well when he came against the Ravens last year. He played well those few games he was there. So, he played well against Cincinnati. I mean, he's a good quarterback, just you don't know when to see him. I think he belongs in the 21, though. Russell Wilson, yeah, he's just trying to hang in the NFL. He's getting older. He's going to get hurt. He's playing still well, but he's just... too inconsistent. He's back and forth. He plays bad games against some teams that he should have probably done better against. He's getting older. I think he belongs in the 20 spot with probably the below averages. 19, where's Geno Smith? Don't even think about comparing to Dak. Bro, I swear someone the other day said he was better than Dak. Don't even want to know, bro. I'm so sick of that hate. And Geno Smith, he's old. He's playing, he's been at least in the league, I know, for a while. But he's still a QB, I would say, that's below average, maybe a mid QB because of what, he plays some good games. He played well against Dallas last year, but sometimes he just doesn't play like he's want to be there. Sometimes he makes awful decisions as a QB. He's just slow now. I mean, now he can get, he's been fast, I've seen before, but he just doesn't, he's there. Probably, maybe he can lead Seattle to a playoff game like he's done before. But I think he's below average because maybe in the midsection. Like, I think he's in the midsection because he's playing good sometimes. He's playing bad sometimes. Way too inconsistent for me. And I think some year he'll have a good game, and he'll have a bad year, like last year. He didn't have the best year before, like the year before, or this. It's back and forth for Geno Smith. He can make plays, but I'm going to mark him there because I think Baker Mayfield is much better at number 18 because he's been in the NFL. He's won He's won 2 more playoff games than Smith because Smith's actually never won one. Mayfield's been there. He's helped the team get to the playoffs. He knows how to help a team like that's in danger. Baker Mayfield has it all. He still, I think, can make QB. He's not a top QB. He still belongs probably in, mid through the, maybe a little above that. Probably not above average because maybe he's close to above average. But remember, he went on the Bucks, helped the team get to the postseason. When I was on the Browns, helped the team get to the postseason. Went to the Rams, kept the team still alive, maybe for playoff contention for a little bit. They already ruined. He keeps getting invited teams and he keeps helping them. He's won the playoffs on teams he's been transferred to or at least been drafted to, like Cleveland. So he has the potential. He's just inconsistent. And he did make some pretty good plays last year. I saw, he had a wonderful wild card game against Philadelphia. But honestly, he still belongs at the 18. Kyler Murray, another guy that's way too inconsistent, gets hurt and uses his legs really well. And man, he can throw that ball though. He can get out of pressure, and he can definitely keep the Cardinals as a sneaky spot this year for the postseason. I definitely think he can. He's not a bad QB. He just sometimes, like I doesn't want to play, gets injured. blah, 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 this, well, the Cardinals had a bad game, or they're just not good anymore, or something like that. Well, was Kyler playing well? No, he wasn't. You got underrated talent on there. Everyone is underrated on that team. James Conner, Michael Wilson. It's going to be the same with Marvin Harrison Jr. this year. He's going to be one of those underrated rookies or something like that, even though he's really good at Ohio State. Their defense needs work. But he's still underrated. The Cardinals, the only reason is because they don't play like that all the time. If they did, they'd be a top-tier team. They don't. It's the definition, but Kyler Murray is 17, and I think he's better than Baker because I think, well, he just is, honestly, because, I think he's just more athletic than Baker is. Number 16, Kirk Cousins. I know people compared him to Dak before. I still think Dak's better. I think he will. I think, honestly, Dak was at one point compared to Kirk, and I think he should have been at one point. But, honestly, he's been much better than Kirk has. Kirk, a couple years ago, had a great season. Had Jay Jettis on the team, of course. And was able to play really well in some big games. Especially against Buffalo, you're not playing right. After that, honestly, he's a good fit for Atlanta to help them. Atlanta needed a QB, and then now you got him. You got one. He was good on when the Washington was called the Redskins. He was good for a while, but I think his best years were in Minnesota when he had some good times going to the postseason. He went there in 2015 to play for. They went to the postseason there, and then they finally won a playoff game before sometime. And after that, he's more athletic. I think he's more better all the time than Murray and Mayfield are, because having a couple seasons, they were a bad start last year, but then he was kind of starting to get going, and then he got hurt. You needed Kirk Cousins to keep going, especially you need Jay Jettis, the best receiver in the league, if not second or third. I would say probably top 2, but it's kind of hard with Kirk. He's inconsistent too, but he's had much better regular season improvements than the others have, honestly. Aaron Rodgers, just getting old. Not the same guy anymore, but he is Aaron Rodgers, so he always seems to find a way. I'm going to mark him at 15. You got to mark him as maybe a little bit of above average QB. Now he is, because he still decides to make plays and still is a little bit closer. He got hurt last year. That's the problem. He is injury prone now. And he still can... I think he can still play well like he did a couple years ago. Kept the team alive for the playoffs. But there's a big question mark above his head for that. Trevor Lawrence, I think he's still above average. I know people call him mid. He's probably a little bit mid, maybe. Mediocre quarterback. But he's had some really good games before. Getting injured last year as well, and then blowing that going 8-3 to 9-8. About everyone got injured. He's still, I think, a good quarterback. He's not a top tier, but he's still a little bit above average QB, as you can see here, number 14. He makes some good plays. He's able to get out of the pressure. He's able to come back from 27-0 and get out and come back against the Chargers. That wild card game. Didn't play bad against Kansas City. He still makes the plays. He actually has an improvement at what some QBs can actually maybe get to the playoffs and maybe do something and have a chance of almost getting to the NFC Championship that year against Kansas City. Love to see that, or the AFC Championship. Love to see him. He's still playing well. He had some great games last year before he started going downhill. He definitely didn't deserve that much money, but he definitely didn't. He definitely needed an extension because I don't know who else he would get for Jacksonville. Matthew Stafford, look, he's also getting old too. He could get injury prone as well, but he's still making some top 10 plays, some top 10 quarterback games. He's playing like a top 10 quarterback about half the time, and when he's not playing like an old man, but he's still considered. Not like he used to, but he's still hanging around in there, trying to fight his way to top 10. I can give him some way to maybe try to be a little outside top 10. I don't think he is top 10, but I think he's a little outside top 10 because he's not always top 10. I've said that a lot, but I think he belongs 13 there. So I think Tua belongs at number 12. Led the league in passing yards. Definitely a top 10 QB stat. Question is, does he play well in those big games? I don't think he plays all the time top 10 QB worthy. He doesn't always play well against the good teams. And I'm a Cowboys fan. I get insult from sometimes my QB or my players not playing well in big games. I'm sorry. We had the defense show out against Detroit and Miami. We had Dak having great games against Miami, Detroit, LA. I'm sorry. Those were good games. Buffalo and San Francisco were not that good. Green Bay was not that good. We get that. We the whole team that we got that. Seattle was good at the time and we were playing them. They were a good team when we played them. So does Tua play well against the good teams all the time? That's what bumps him down to top 10. I don't always have trust in Tua. I don't. Even though he led the league in passing yards, I don't always have a lot of potential into it. But I think he can get better. I think he's the QB that the Dolphins, he got extended all that money, shouldn't have got extended. But I think, or not shouldn't have got paid all that money, but I think, yes, he needs to probably get kept on the Miami Dolphins. Number 11, Jordan Love. Look, he had a great 8 games. Shouldn't have never got paid all that money for maybe getting, shouldn't have never got all that money for having that many games, but as long as he stays healthy, I don't see why the Packers won't make maybe a chance at the NFC Championship next year. Maybe sneak in the Super Bowl or something like that. I don't see why not. He definitely seems to play well in postseason games if he can finish it. Don't make the stupid mistake like he did against San Francisco 49ers and throw a across the field interception. But I can see it from him. He's definitely an above-average QB and almost top 10. I mean, he maybe even be top 10. I don't know. These are my opinions. I mean, I can see him being top 10. He's definitely got the potential, and we'll just see if he has another. If he has a great regular season, he can leave off where he was. Yeah. So number 10, we have Jared Goff. I have him better because He's kind of one of those on and off QBs, but he tends to perform well in postseason games. He's made 2 conference championships and 1 Super Bowl. He's also had some great regular season big-time moments. He's, I think, a top 10 QB or maybe outside QB. I definitely can see it. But maybe not all the time he's the best QB. That's what kind of minuses him, I think. A little bit subtracts maybe him being from maybe sometimes not a top 10 QB. Number 9, I have Jalen Hurts. One really good season with the Eagles. And then had a great part of the year last year. He's going to get better. Don't worry. I hate him. I hate being him on the, I'm not a big fan of Jalen Hurts because he's on Philadelphia. But I think he's still a good player. The hate he gets, I think he's still a good player for the Philadelphia Eagles. Don't know how they land him because there's a good QB at Alabama and Oklahoma. Don't know where he came from. How do you even land a QB? Probably just like Dak because he was a good player at Mississippi State. And we got him in the 4th round. So honestly, which we'll get to here in just a second. But Hurts made a good Super Bowl run, and if the coordinator was better, could have made another one. He's definitely a top 10 QB, I would say. And then now we go to my QB, Dak Prescott. Honestly, we know his playoff stuff has been, hasn't had the best stats. So neither has Lamar. Not a lot of QBs have, but you don't see me saying that they're not a top QB. No. Jalen Hurts has had 2 playoff wins, has had a Super Bowl appearance, and he hasn't been in the league as long as Dak. But Dak makes really good. He's had wonderful seasons. He led the league in passing TDs last year. He gets those division wins. He gets to the playoffs and has some high seeds. He helps the team get there, and when they get to the playoffs, everyone falls down. But why don't we play anybody but Green Bay and San Francisco? It's just like Buffalo and Kansas City. If you get scared of a certain team, you're gonna get in the regular season. You're gonna get scared of them in the postseason, and that's what Dallas does. You can't do that. You can't collapse. They got potential. Just a few mentality away for Dak, and he can go to the NFC Championship. I still have him at top 10, and I honestly think they should extend him because you can't keep going around this QB carousel, and I don't give a crap about Trey Lance right now until he shows something. If he shows something in the preseason, maybe I can get him to QB2, but not right now because I don't think you need to be going in that QB carousel. Unless you don't want to pay him all that money and he won't budge, then maybe that's the only reason, then you may have to actually release him because money is money. But if it has to do with skill, then go get, if that has to do a playoff, get rid of Lamar too. Number 7, Brock Purdy. I'm not going to put Purdy below Dak. Purdy's done much better. Purdy's made the big plays. Purdy has done a lot better than Dak, Hurts, Goff. All of them have done in those length of 2 years. Don't know why he gets hated because they call him a system QB with all that talent. What else is he supposed to do? Check down? Okay, he has McCaffrey. He can be able to feed it to, throw it to Samuel, and if Ayuk stays on the team, maybe. Yes, he can do that. He's got a tough defense. He can play. He's got Kittle. He makes the plays when they're needed. He clutch time. He didn't have the best opening game in the NFC Championship last year, and he didn't come out ready to play some of the time against Green Bay. But he was able to come out and clutch up and win the game for them to go to the Super Bowl and maybe have a chance in overtime in that game against Kansas City if their defense stood up on the 4th and 1 play or any of the time. He was close to winning a Super Bowl his second year. He made it to the NFC Championship when it looked like the Niners weren't going to go far apart. I get it. I get the hate, but you got to respect the dude. He's a really good QB. That's definitely at 7. Number 6, I have Justin Herbert. He has a lot of years with 4,000 passing yards, has a lot of passing yards. If he had a better team, he could probably make the AFC Championship, maybe NFC Championship in the NFC. Could make a Super Bowl. But I don't think he's good as people say, but he's almost a top 5 QB. I think he's outside top 5. I don't think I should ever put him in top 5 because there are 4 other quarterbacks, Burrow, Lamar, Allen, and Mahomes, and then you could probably guess the other one is Stroud, but I'm not going to tell you the order. So those 5, I think, are better than Herbert, and I think Herbert could easily be worse than Purdy, but I'm going to put Herbert over because of the success he has, one of the best accurate QBs in the league, and has an arm, and not the best clutch QB, but if their team would maybe be a little bit better on the coordinating calls, and like I said, don't get Kellen Moore last year. You don't, because he's not a good game-winning drive type of guy. Yep, that's why. That's why Dak was able to and not sometimes do well and throw that many picks, but he was still able to handle it. Anywho, with number 5, we are in the top 5 zone, and we got the C.J. Stroud dude. We got C.J. Stroud coming off one of the best rookie years for any QB in a while, and especially for a Texans QB they came off a horrible season a couple years ago, and then you go here and you get the 4th seed in the postseason, demolish the Browns, and then get demolished by the Ravens, but definitely they were a young team, especially Tank Dell, Nico Collins, still really good receivers. Now you got Stephon Diggs, you got Joe Mixon in the backfield, you got a defense that's much better, a top 10 defense, I would say, with Will Anderson Jr. in the back. C.J. Stroud is definitely a top 5 QB because of the way he plays. He doesn't get pressured. He makes the plays when they're needed. He has an arm for, he's accurate. He makes passing TDs. He does about everything, especially at this young. He's going to be really good when he gets older if he stays healthy. For Joe Burrow, Joey B. Eminem, I saw that picture. He definitely has a top 5 QB. Makes the plays when needed. Can scramble out of the pocket, make the throws, and you saw in the wild card against the Raiders, man, what a throw that was. Honestly, he is a really top QB, has athleticism, can make it, can get the team on his back and make the far in the playoffs. He almost got the job done a few years ago, could have gotten it the year after that, did not, lost Kansas City, and just is able to make the plays. Is a great postseason QB. Can come out rusty in the beginning of the regular season, sometimes not always in the regular season, but he definitely can keep the team alive whenever it takes. Number 3, I got Lamar Jackson, one of the best athletic QBs out there with the scrambling and can throw. I don't think he's the best thrower, but he can definitely throw the ball, or else he would not just be considered a running back. He's definitely not the best playoff guy. If you want to talk about playoff success, then get rid of him too, because he doesn't have the best playoff success because of his mentality as well. But he is able to escape out of the pocket, scramble every way, just dodge somehow, and become probably a receiver if he could. He has to be a top 5 QB out there due to his athleticism. He just has to get his mentality just like Dak out of the way, and he can do well in the postseason and maybe make a Super Bowl run. Number 2, who do we have? We got Josh Allen, and you probably know Mahomes is going to be next, and I don't think you were not going to expect that, even though he has 3 Super Bowls. But Josh Allen, honestly, rushing, he's a big dude, and not a big old lineman dude, but kind of big for a quarterback, and he's definitely can run. He's got an arm strength. That's one of his best things. And that's why he's able to do it. If he actually had maybe more support in the postseason, he can maybe go to the NFC Championship, AFC Championship, no, Super Bowl actually, but more AFC Championships. Maybe if he could get past Mahomes more, he could maybe get to his dream, maybe win a ring. He's got potential to do it. He just needs a better supporting cast. And what he has, one of the best QBs that can carry the team on his back when they're in tough times. This is exactly why he's number 2 in the league. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Doesn't matter if he's down by a lot, he's gonna come back. And we saw that was it the Texans-Chiefs game? Yeah, Texans-Chiefs game. You saw the comeback he made. You saw some regular season stuff he had last year. They were a 3 seed. Didn't look like they maybe won the Super Bowl. They weren't that favorites in the playoffs. But yet the Cowboys have a better chance than them, and we know how that goes every year, sadly. But Patrick Mahomes, without really many receivers, and with a young defense, the defense wasn't bad, was able to still win the Super Bowl. Now, you got to tell me that Patrick Mahomes is going to become the next Tom Brady. I can believe it if you told me that, because he's just got to win 4 more Super Bowls, and he's already done more than Tom Brady has at a young age, and Patrick Mahomes is probably more athletic too. I mean, to get out of a sack that easily, making it look that easy, and maybe have an O-line that maybe can also better block for him at points too. I mean, even though that actually happens a lot. But he gets out of trouble, so therefore he gets out of trouble, scrambles, somehow makes the play, and gets a touchdown. And people are like, what? How did he do that? Well, how did he get from a 3 seed and maybe not go to the Super Bowl that year and be on the road? Will he make the AFC Championship? Of course he will. He has a chance. He helps the team and gets the team on his back and does it the best out of any QB on this entire 32-team list. And I hope you enjoyed this 32-team list. What do you think in the comment section below? Let me know anything that should change. And I'll see you next time, Dog Squad. Peace.